What's going on, guys? TieFly85 here again.
And I'm T-Rec87. And today we wanted to talk a little bit about Sony and Nintendo's E3 conference. We kind of wanted to combine them into one and just go over those. And we also wanted to go over basically who we thought had the best showing at E3 and just kind of what were our favorite games that we saw. So anyways, with that in mind, let's get started. So first off, Sony's conference was pretty strange. I heard a lot of complaints about it on the internet. I guess logistically it was pretty terrible. They were shuffling people from room to room. A lot of flute playing. If you haven't watched it, it's worth seeing it, honestly. But the very first game that they actually honestly, I'm going to go off of Kotaku's list because it's a lot easier than making my own list. So thank you, Kotaku, for doing that for me. So first up, they showed a bunch more of The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 looked pretty interesting. What did you think about it, Typefly?
I think it looks hands down amazing. I think the graphics look awesome. The gameplay itself from the original one they look phenomenally better.
Yeah, it looked really interesting. I mean, obviously there was a couple scenes in there that had everybody kind of freaked out. I guess there was I caught like most of the trailer and then I missed part of it because I was talking to somebody and I didn't rewatch it, but I guess somebody got like disemboweled or something like that. Maybe that was part of the gameplay or something like that. But
It was part of the gameplay, yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good though. The graphics look amazing. I will say that much about The Last of Us. Is I never really played the first one. I played through probably the first third of the game, but it is a really good game. So this is definitely something to be very excited for, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. This is definitely probably one of the biggest highlights overall that people were most excited for.
Yeah. Now, next one they showed was Ghost of Tsushima, and this looked fantastic, dude. Did you see the trailer for this one?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I really want to play this game.
Yeah.
I actually, surprisingly, it was probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, me and my wife were actually having a conversation, and I was telling her, I was like, I wonder why they don't have a good samurai game. No joke, randomly. We're randomly talking about it. And then sure enough, here we go. Bam. Samurai game. And it's exactly what I was talking to her about. I was just like, it just needs to be more in-depth, like real battles. And
Did you ever play Way of the Samurai back on the
No.
PlayStation 2? Oh my god, dude, it was so good. It was this game, and it was just kind of like it wasn't very like open worldy or anything like that. It was PlayStation 2, but there were like all these different choices you had to make versus like people you could kill or not kill or befriend, not friend, and like there were like all these different endings depending on the choices that you made. And you'd like have like different endings for the game, and it was so good. But this one looks legit, dude. Like I am so excited for this game.
it feels very old school. Like the feel of it and the architecture and the characters and the design, like it just looks amazing.
Yeah, and I mean the one thing I do love it. None of you'd heard, but like I mean, we are entering the last phase of like this console generation. It'll still be around for a couple more years, but at the end of every console cycle, you always get like the best looking games, the most creative games. Everyone's going for broke. And you get games like this, that just look fantastic, and so that's what I always love. Like the end of the console cycle. So yeah, this one looks really interesting to me. Let's see if we can get an actual like the combat looks pretty good. I think it looks I don't know. I have much more to say about it other than just it looks fantastic. So I think if you like samurai at all, this is definitely a game for you.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't like samurai,
Yeah,
like the gameplay itself looks amazing and fun.
yeah, it does. It actually reminds me of, I mean, the way he's blocking and stuff like that. I almost wonder if it's a little bit similar to like the Arkham games in terms of like how the combat plays out. Like if there's like a dedicated block button and everything like that. I don't know if it's going to be like real fluid like that because that's kind of what it seems like. Um, let's see
Yeah,
here.
it's very possible
Yeah.
that it could be similar to that. I do love the idea though. So in this part right here of the trailer,
Mhm.
this girl comes along and then they start fighting. And when they start fighting, it almost seems as if it switches to a side view, as if you were playing like Street Fighter
Uh huh.
or Mortal Kombat or something like that. I'm not sure when it's. Maybe it's towards the end of the trailer, because they do kind of,
Let's see here.
I guess, kind of hang out for a little bit and help each other.
Let's see
But
if we can.
somewhere towards almost about the end of the trailer. Yeah, they're sent there to rescue a monk, and then she wants to kill the monk.
Right.
And then she's just like, no, you can't.
And so this
And
looks. Oh, it's
so
almost like
this,
cinematic. It's
yeah,
so
like this part
cinematic.
right here, when you're fighting, like it just seems very, like, updated, but very old school kind of side.
Like sides, like a
Yeah,
2D
if
fighter
anybody
type thing.
understands what I'm talking about with that,
Like a 2D
it
fighter,
just
like
it
Street
look,
Fighter or something,
yeah,
something like that. Is kind of what I guess what you're
that's
getting
what I was
at.
thinking, like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. Yeah,
Yeah. So
it looks great.
yeah. So anyway, this is a game definitely to watch out for. So let's move on though. As much as I want to keep watching this, Control is the next game, and let's see here. I honestly didn't watch this because it didn't look that interesting to me. I don't know. Did you watch it, Typefly?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like anything spectacular. It does look like an interesting game overall,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the way that it's designed and set up, and the way that things look like they're constantly moving. Because I mean,
Right.
it looks like think of like the labyrinth,
Right.
but it's like constantly moving. So it does seem pretty interesting that way, kind of like Inception. Think of Inception, but like in a video game.
Right.
And that's exactly what this feels like.
It's kind of what it looks like, honestly. I mean, it looks interesting. It's just I don't know. A lot of games like this just don't really grab my attention, mainly for the fact that a lot of these games you don't get like 40, 50, 60 hours out of. A lot of times you tend to get like 10, 12 hours out of, and so like I have a hard time paying $60 for a game that's usually not that long, with the exception being like God of War, but I got like 40 hours out of God of War, so it looked okay. I wasn't super interested in it personally. Um, and then let's see. Oh, here's the one that
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, I'm so excited for this game. When they first announced this game and they showed the little clip in the beginning that we're about to see, they didn't show this part. They kind of like skipped over this to kind of give everybody kind of a teaser
Right.
before you knew exactly what it was, but I was just freaking out. I think me and everybody at that conference in that moment were all freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, so for anybody that hasn't caught on yet, this is a remake of Resident Evil 2. And Typhoid is a huge fan of Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil. I'm not as big of a fan. I liked the most current one that came out. I thought it was a lot of fun, but this looks pretty good, honestly. Like the graphics and everything else, it just looks like a solid remake.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back and replay it again.
I would personally be more like if it was anything for me. The one Resident Evil game I got into was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis,
Nemesis.
and I would love to see that just like fully remade on modern consoles because that one's like one of the only Resident Evils I actually played all the way through. But yeah, I'm sure if you're a fan of Resident Evil, this will be a good game for you. And then
It will be a good game for me. You are correct.
So, following Tyfly's, favorite game ever, came my favorite game ever, and that was another trailer for Kingdom Hearts. Except this time we got more of a look at the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which I was kind of surprised to see them bring it back, and I was super thrilled about it. Because actually, it's funny that world in particular got a lot of flack in Kingdom Hearts 2. Because they tried to make like realistic characters like Jack Sparrow and all that, and it looked really off compared to like having like Sora, Donald, and Goofy. But watching this trailer, like obviously the graphics have come a long way. And from what I do know, by the way, just so everyone is aware, Johnny Depp is actually voicing Jack Sparrow in this, which is fantastic because the guy who voiced him last time did a good job, but was not Johnny Depp. I think it looks fantastic though, honestly.
It looks like all of them. They did a good job capturing all of their faces.
Oh, they did a great job, honestly. And
wow.
yeah, it looks just oh my god, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this game.
This looks like 100 times different from I know what you're talking about when they
from the Pirates
introduced
of the Caribbean world.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
the original one.
And this one
looks way different.
Yeah, this one looks a lot better. So hopefully it's a little more fully realized. But yeah, I can't take my eyes off of it when I watch this Kingdom Hearts stuff. Other than that, in the trailer, we got
This
a
gets me
quick
so
glimpse
much more
of
hype for this game.
yeah. We got a quick glimpse of Toy Story, some more of the Frozen world, and I was absolutely 100% correct. I've been talking about this. I've been talking to my wife. I don't know if I said it on a video, but the Tangled world. I know I don't have the audio on, but she talks right there, and she doesn't speak. She doesn't have any audio, and her voice lines just totally aren't done. The
Yeah.
Tangled girl, I was just like, oh, called it. You got Monsters Inc. right there. All the returning cast from Kingdom Hearts. I mean, like from all the games, like from Birth by Sleep. Kingdom Hearts 2, you've got so many characters now at this point that it's like almost hard to keep track of all of them. I mean, obviously Kingdom Hearts is like, it's got a story, but if you're not like super into Kingdom Hearts, like you'd never understand it, I think. And then at the very end, oh no, it wasn't this trailer. We had a scene of Aqua, but anyway, Kingdom Hearts still looking fantastic. Super excited for it. The next game, I have a really hard time with this game. Every time I see something about it just looks weird to me, and it just keeps getting like more and more strange. And that's Death Stranding, is Hideo Kojima's new game. I know there's been a lot of publicity around it, but my God, I don't know what to think about this game. What are your thoughts, Tyfly? I mean, what do you think about it?
It's definitely strange. It's still strange. I don't think they've shown a trailer yet that doesn't make this game look really weird.
Yeah, and I still don't know what this game is about exactly. I mean, like, look, you're carrying like a corpse on your back there, or something. I mean, I don't know what this game's about, and it just looks really strange. And I'm excited for it. I love Hideo Kojima, mostly from the Metal Gear Solid series, but this one in particular, just I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, like I want to be excited for it, but until you tell me like what the hell this game's about, like I don't know how I feel about it. So
I wonder if it has something to do with like life, like birth and death and stuff.
maybe, yeah,
Because they do show what looks like could be like death, and then him trying to live, and then the baby in the stomach, and I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know
It,
either, dude.
it could just be like a survival game. I mean, there's your first kind of glimpse at stuff in the darkness.
Yeah, so there is some stealth in this game. It looks like I don't know. I just
Well, it looks like you have to use the light to keep whatever's there. So remember that game that was Alan Wake, where you had to
yeah,
use
yeah,
the
yeah.
flashlight to run around? It kind of seems similar to that.
Right.
And just that little clip that we saw with him with that light.
Yeah, it just yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see it. I'm probably honestly gonna have to wait for reviews to come out whether I decide whether or not I'm gonna play it. Let's see here. Let's move on to the next game. The next one was Neo 2, which I guess a lot of people are excited for. I didn't play the very first one, and so I don't know a whole lot about it to be totally honest. But I know it's by Team Ninja, and it looks like pretty solid. Honestly, it looks fun.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this particular one here. I did see the preview for it. I mean, it does look like it could be a fun game, but yeah, I'm not familiar with the series at all.
There's a lot of like samurai and ninja and stuff like that coming around this year. It looks like that was like a lot of studios have that theme going on, because this one kind of does take inspiration from that. It looks like. I mean, other than the crazy devil guy there, but yeah, looks interesting. Can't wait to see more for it. And let's see here, what do we got next? Spider-Man, obviously PS4 exclusive. This game looks just so fantastic, I think.
Yes,
Uh,
it looks amazing.
And this one, just so anybody out there does know, this is a game I will definitely be getting and reviewing for sure when it comes out, and I'll also be playing it like on Twitch and everything like that. So if you guys do want to check that out, I mean, I know it's a few months away, but it's never too early for a shameless plug, right? So
Never.
the combat looks really good, dude. Like honestly, like it's so solid. I mean, it's like Arkham Asylum, like Batman, except you're way more agile because you're Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
it just yeah.
I was gonna say there's way more than Arkham Asylum. Like it looks like they did use the same type of engine as Arkham Asylum, but I love the fact that he like jumps in the air and then can do look at that.
Right,
Just
like crazy stuff like
legs
that.
everywhere.
Yeah, like so. I mean, there's definitely similarities there, but it's definitely going to be its own unique game, and yeah, it does look like a really, really fantastic game. So I'm super excited for this.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Nice. Oh, dude, I can't wait. I want to play this game.
Yeah, me too. And last but not
Last but not
least,
least,
From Software is making a PSVR game. Can't say I'm excited. I'm not really on the VR train just yet. Um, let's see here.
I mean, it seems to me like if anybody's watching anything, VR seems to be the wave. Honestly,
I
they're
think it's
making
really
VR
cool.
for everything.
I think it's really cool, and it's kind of gimmicky, but I mean, there's definitely a market for it. But until my VR is like jack me into the Matrix type stuff, I don't think I'm actually going to be, that invested.
Yeah, I think that we're decades off from that. But
Well, sure,
as
but
far as the VR that we see now, like it just keeps getting better and better.
hopefully in my lifetime, that's all I can. That's all I can really hope for. So anyway, Sony had a fairly okay conference. It showed us some interesting games. The show itself I thought was pretty lame. I didn't really enjoy it a whole lot. So let's just go over real quickly the Nintendo conference, which is also Nintendo had a bunch of great games. There was a couple I was hoping to see that I didn't really see, namely Metroid Prime 4. Super Mario Party looks pretty good. Looks like a lot of fun. They're gonna have some interesting connectivity with the Switch.
Yeah,
Um,
that seemed really cool, where you can add multiple switches to
yeah,
give like angles, or even
but
change the map.
right, and so this does look like a good Mario Party game. Like I'm super excited. I always loved Mario Party. I remember playing Mario Party back in the day. I remember like me and my buddy would do like that Shy Guy challenge where you had to like rotate the N64 stick, and like we did it so many times trying to get him go farther that like we both had like blisters on our hands, and it was crazy terrible. But like this looks like more classic Mario Party. I mean, honestly, like you can't really go wrong with it. So I am super excited for that.
You know, the original Mario Party, if anybody's familiar with arcade games, if anyone remembers the Simpsons arcade game, I would almost call that the original Mario Party.
Mm.
Before, you know, when they did the little side games where you have to blow up the balloon, or you had to like
Oh,
do the
yeah,
little,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
not the
yeah.
entire game,
I was
just
like, not
those
really. I was
little
like, that's like more of
portions.
a Streets of Rage or something. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
well,
I
those portions of the game reminded me exactly of what Mario Party is.
right.
Like they took those portions of it and were just like, let's
Make
build on
it make a
this.
whole game out of it. Next, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is getting some DLC. Um, Xenoblade Chronicle, I've never really played it. It looks good. I mean, honestly, it's just one of those games I never picked up. But it does look fantastic. I mean, like it's a little weird, honestly. Like that guy had like a very realistic looking hood, and he's super anime, super cel shaded. So it's kind of strange looking, but. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is. I understand what you're saying. Like the backgrounds look more polished than the characters do.
yeah, or just like it's almost like a different art style. Like the environment is like more of a realistic art style, but the characters and everything are super like cel shaded, and it's a weird disconnect for me. I've always heard good things about the series. Maybe I'll pick it up someday, and give it a playthrough. Maybe I'll play it on Twitch or something like that, so everybody can see it. But it looked interesting. Fire Emblem will arrive on Switch as Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is another series that, for whatever reason, I've never gotten into. No, that's not true. I played one of them. But this actually, I like tactical strategy RPG type games. One of my favorite games of all time was Shining Force 2 for the Sega Genesis, and it was kind of in this same vein of games where it was a tactical RPG and you had squares to battle on. But this looks like a good game, honestly. Like I'll probably end up picking this up and playing it. So,
Yeah,
what?
Shining Force was that game I was trying to describe the other day when I was like that game you used to play.
Yeah, no,
When I was trying to say Metro Racer or whatever the racer game was, I was trying to think of that game, the game you just said.
Oh, Shining Force, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shining Force.
I
Because
play.
that one game looked like Shining Force, the one that looked the old school where the four
Oh,
characters.
I gotcha. Yeah.
The
It
top
kind of
down.
does. I Shining Force is one of those games I play like a couple times a year at least. I mean, I always play through it. I'll play through it like once a year. And another interesting announcement is that Fortnite is coming to the Switch. It already did.
Was anybody surprised?
No,
Was
I mean
anybody surprised by
honestly,
this?
it
I mean, it came to mobile.
it had 2 million downloads in the first 24 hours on the Switch, which is insane to me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I downloaded Fortnite. I'll never play it on the Switch. I'll never play it. Period. I might play it on Switch actually, just because it's like Fortnite is one of those games I could see myself playing when I'm totally just being lazy on the couch or like in bed or something like that. And the Switch gives me the perfect platform in which to actually do that. Because
So,
oh, go ahead.
oh no, some really quick things, really quick. Some really quick things. Sorry, quip.
Some quick things.
Epic Games, some really cool news that actually just happened for Epic Games. Fortnite hits 125 million players in less than a year. So it's crazy to think that that game is less. Like, it's about a year old now, roughly, and 125 million players. It's huge. Also, too, another big thing that they announced for Epic announces the 2019 Fortnite World Cup event, which they did do recently do one. And didn't you say that Ninja won something like
Yeah,
$1 million?
him and somebody else won, and it was $1 million to their own charity of their choice or whatever. Um, it's crazy how big Fortnite has become. Let's see.
Yeah, it's massive. It's getting huge. I cannot believe how big this game got. You wouldn't think a game that's like so what to me feels like is massively designed towards children. I know that it's not a complete child's game, but a game that seems like it's for a younger demographic. It did such an amazing job.
Well, here's the
And
thing about
it's
Fortnite
still
is
going
it's one of those
fast.
games that like anybody can kind of play. It's pretty simple. I mean, for the most part, really. There's not like a ton of depth to it. I mean, yeah, there is like the building stuff and everything like that. Um, but it's a game almost anybody can get into, and so a lot of like casual gamers can get into this game and play it. Um, I don't find these types of games as fun as other people. I just think it's not as engaging. Where like a lot of times I end up like kind of like waiting around or hiding for like 20 minutes and then I die.
Well, here's a MG Knights World exclusive. Are you ready, everybody? I'm making an announcement. I've never played Fortnite ever. I've never played PUBG
Never
either.
played Fortnite. This guy right here.
The only person in the world, I think, other than maybe like babies in the womb.
Okay. Sorry. I completely missed that. Sorry. My kids are at the zoo, and so I'm getting text messages about like what's going on. So I do apologize. Anyway, so let's see here. Next game, Hollow Knight is out on the Switch today. Hollow Knight looks pretty interesting. I haven't played it yet, but it looks really cartoony and cool, and it looks like a fun little side scroller.
It kind of reminds me of kind of like when you go into those rooms for the Mega Man bosses, where they kind of trap you in the room and then stuff comes out either from the sides and
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It does. It kind of seems in that style, like that kind of vein, but more artsy. Like I love.
Yeah, I like the
art
art style
style.
in this game a lot. It's really good. It's really clean.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it kind of also reminds me of Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night.
A little bit. Yeah, it has kind of a similar style to it.
That's really cool. I like that.
So for Hollow Knight looks really great. I might actually pick it up. I'm gonna probably actually pick it up and I might download it and I might play it on Twitch or something like that so everybody can see it because it looks really fun. And then finally, the big game everybody obviously was waiting for was Super Smash Brothers. And
Yeah. Finally.
yeah, finally, dude.
Finally.
And I called this a while back. It wasn't on the MG9's channel, but on my channel, I had posted a video that everybody thought it was going to be a port, and I thought everybody was insane because it's definitely not going to be a port, and I was 100% correct. Which I just knew in my heart it wouldn't be a port. But this looks every single character from every Smash game is going to be in here, along with a bunch of new characters, and it just looks like more of the classic Smash Brothers that we all know and love. With updated the final smashes. There's Echo characters like Daisy is an Echo
Yeah, I
Peach.
do like the Echo. The Echo characters seem really cool.
Yeah, and so basically what that is they play very similarly to like their primary character, like Peach, but I guess there's some small differences. So it does look really great though, and I was a little bit disappointed that they weren't launching this alongside their online play service. I thought that's what that was going to be for, and it's not going to be until like next. I think it's like this like January or February or something like that when it comes out.
I think they actually announced it for November.
Is it
of this
November?
year. Yeah, that was the whole biggest thing. Is right at the very end of this trailer. It was
Oh,
like, November.
maybe it
And I
was
just like,
November.
what?
I think you're absolutely right. I think it was November. I thought it was December 7th That's
December,
when it is.
sorry. Okay, December. Yeah, I
But
knew it was coming out soon. I'm just like, we don't have to wait till next year.
I know like their full online play service that you have to like pay to play online is launching sooner than that, and so I really figured that it was going to launch alongside that to get everybody to be on board.
Yeah.
Split.
It actually, if anybody who has a Switch, if you haven't tried the online, I'd highly recommend it since it's free right now. Because they are going to start charging here soon, which does make sense that they'd be dropping these huge titles and then they're going to make people pay.
Right.
But
But it's only going
I
to
would
be
highly
like
recommend
it's like
you hop on it
$20 for
now.
like 6 months though. Is the pricing's much better than Microsoft or PlayStation.
So $40 for a year. That's not bad. That's
Yeah,
really cheap.
it's really not bad. And also I gotta say from personal experience, the online play works great.
Yeah, it
I
does.
played Mario Kart online and I didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, we played Mario Kart, and it's yeah, no problems whatsoever.
And
Even on like other Wi-Fi outside of our house, like when we're using like just Wi-Fi from around town,
right,
like it still works perfect. It's crazy.
yeah. And last but not least, Splatoon 2 Octo expansion is coming out, and that was the wrap up of their conference. Splatoon 2, obviously, pretty good game, and more content for people that like that game. I didn't really care for Splatoon. I just I don't know why I didn't really like
It
it. I
looked like an
didn't.
interesting concept of a game, but I don't think it was designed for everybody. I think
Yeah,
it was a niche
it
game.
was definitely not designed for me. I'll tell you that. So just real quickly before we wrap, who did you think won E3 as far as like having like the best conference in terms of like games?
I'm gonna have to say Microsoft, hands down, out of all the conferences I watched.
Hmm.
I would say definitely had the most, biggest, and was kind of the fastest getting through their list and getting straight to the point. I'm gonna say Microsoft had kind of won
I agree.
this time.
Microsoft had definitely I think the highest energy conference, where they're just going game to game to game to game, but still had an actual presentation, unlike some other certain companies. Square
No
Enix.
banjos and no flutes.
Yeah, no banjos, no flutes. Also, Square Enix, not just a pre-recorded video. Um, the as far as like the conference I liked the most personally, the one I'm most excited for, Bethesda easily stole that show for me. And I gotta say, like personally, I think theirs was my favorite conference for the entirety of E3, just because of the games that they're having coming out. Like Fallout 76, I'm super stoked for. Um,
It's gonna be the best game. I'm so stoked for that game.
Yeah, so Fallout 76 looks really great. Obviously, Elder Scrolls 6, like, just give it to me. I just want to play it so bad. I've been waiting so long. But so Microsoft and Bethesda both had really great conferences. Other conferences weren't so great. There was a couple, EA, Square Enix, to name two. And the big thing about Microsoft conference, a lot of games are going Game Pass when they come out. And so Microsoft's starting to build that library of Game Pass games. And you know what I do with Game Pass? And eventually they're going to hook me one of these days because I keep buying it for a month because there's a game I want to try, and then I'll cancel it because I don't have anything else I want to play. But if they keep building this library of games up, eventually they're going to get me hooked, and they're going to hook a lot of people because I think a lot of people are doing the same thing. Like, oh, hey, there's a new game, I'll play it for a couple weeks and I'm done. Like Sea of Thieves, that's how I tried out Sea of Thieves and found out it was terrible. I paid for
Yeah,
Game Pass, and then I was like, wow, this is awful. Good thing
it's
I didn't
crazy
spend
too,
60
because
bucks.
when you watch the videos of people playing it when they got early access or whatever,
Uh-huh.
it looked really fun. You're just like all for, a bunch of people are gonna be able to jump online. You're all gonna be able to go, it's like pirates, and it seemed really fun. It seemed like Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
Hmm.
but like a dumbed down version.
Yeah, and like kind of cartoony and fun,
It
but
didn't work.
then you start playing and you realize that you do the same exact goddamn thing, where like every single time you play, like all the time. And I know there's new content for anybody that does like Sea of Thieves and plays Sea of Thieves. I understand there's new content coming out. Looks like there's like 2 expansions that they're gonna have, which hopefully adds a lot more to the game. But the big joke in the industry right now is that this game's called No Man's Sea, just for the sorry state it launched in, just like No Man's Sky. So yeah.
Well, some other biggest things though with Game Pass is they are getting Fallout 4. So Bethesda obviously announced that they're taking that. So it looks like Microsoft is getting a lot of other IPs that aren't exclusive to only Microsoft.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is going to be amazing, and it's going to make that price point sound even better.
Right, $10 a month. I mean, it's another $10 a month on top of like if you're paying for Xbox Live. but it's something that could be definitely be well worth it. Like honestly, like with Fallout 4, and there are a lot of good games on there. If there's a lot of games on Game Pass you haven't played, like it's worth checking out because there's a lot of really great titles. You know, like Halo 5 and now Fallout 4, and there's a lot of really good titles. But I've played most of the titles on there that I want to, that I see that are really good. I've already played them already. So, but coming in the future, like Forza Horizon is going to be on Game Pass, which blows me away because I will absolutely pay for Game Pass to play the new Forza. And then Crackdown, if it ever comes out, I think is going on Game Pass. But Crackdown again got delayed till 2019. This was supposed to be like a launch game for the Xbox, and it's been so many years that we've been waiting.
I'm kind of curious about Game Pass and what you think. Do you think it's only a matter of time before they up the service to where it's more expensive monthly due to the fact they're getting way more games?
I don't think you could make it much more, honestly. I don't know. Without pissing everyone off, it doesn't seem like you could. I mean, maybe. But I guess the only way I could see them upping the price, realistically to me, was to be like maybe, hey, make it like 15 a month if you pay per month, but if you commit to like a 6-month subscription or a year subscription, keep it at the 10. I just don't like if they up the price like to like 15 or $20 a month, everybody pissed, nobody get Game Pass. Honestly, like I feel like I wouldn't do it on principle, but if they did that but made a compromise to where if I committed to a longer subscription, but it was still at $10 a month, because that's kind of a sweet spot for what you're paying. I feel like $10 is asking just enough money. I feel like they could maybe get away with that sometime, but let's not rule out corporate greed, I guess. That is always a distinct possibility.
Yeah, I feel like that it's definitely going to happen, unfortunately. I feel like $10 is not going to be viable in the long run.
No.
Especially if you're adding, other people's games that aren't Microsoft related, like, Bethesda, Sony games, like all kinds of other games.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought this year's E3 was pretty good overall. Like this is one of the better E3s I remember. There have been E3s in the past that just totally sucked, and this one had a lot of good games. Nothing I would say earth shattering, but still like just a really solid showing of like a lot of really good games. So I was really happy about this year's E3. If any of you guys out there, what were your thoughts on E3? I'm really curious. Did everybody super love E3, or did you hate it, or is there like a super game or a game that you're like really excited about? In particular, is there a game that you'd want us to cover more or find out more about, and maybe we could talk about that a little bit more? Let us know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, any other final thoughts there, Tyfly?
No final thoughts. Everything seemed really great. I love Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. They all did a pretty good job overall, I'd say. Yeah, definitely a good E3. Can't wait to see more gameplay from a lot of the games that we did see today, but actual in-game gameplay, which would be pretty awesome. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And like Tarek said, if you have any comments or anything on any, like what games were your favorite, that kind of stuff, let us know down below. We'd love to hear it.
All right, well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll speak again soon.
And always remember, stay awesome.